guys, I am Kayla, and if you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe. Today is December 21st, 2019, and I wanted to sit down and make this video for a long time, but I've been really nervous about it because making this video cements, I don't know, just makes everything feel more real. As you can probably tell from the title, there have been some major changes in my life, and I want to talk about those. Greg and I have recently decided to leave the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the LDS Church, the Mormons, whatever you call them, and it's a huge change. And I want to talk a little bit about the steps leading up. And, you know, when we decided to leave the church, I looked for a long time for what the after looks like. You know, like there's a lot of information about why people left, but there wasn't a lot of information about what it looked like after they left the church. And I was desperately searching for that. And when I couldn't find it, I decided to make my own. So let me give you a little rundown. Gregory and I have been members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'll probably say the LDS Church from now on for time. Since we were little. We both born and raised in the LDS Church. We got married in an LDS temple. We had babies blessed in, the LDS Church. And it's kind of been our entire life. I'm not going to sit here and tell you we've always been the most active members. And by active, I mean like going to church. We have not always gone regularly, but we have gone pretty regularly. We went from when we moved, so what's that, 2014 to 2018. We went really regularly. We held callings. We were very active as in going to church and doing the church thing. So about a year ago, we had a really, really bad experience with our leadership in our ward. In our ward, we had a really bad experience, and we quit going. And when we quit going, because I know people are going to misconstrue this as we got like offended and that was why we left. That's not why we left. We quit going because we didn't feel comfortable in our ward, and when we asked to change wards, it was a really long, hard process. And I'm like, I will just not go until our bishop changes. And so that's what we were kind of thinking. But as more time went on and we weren't going to church again, we'd done phases where we hadn't gone before, I realized I didn't miss it at all. And then, so we stopped going in December of 2018, and Bentley turned 8 in April of 2019. And in our church, or in the LDS Church, when a child turns 8, they're baptized and they're like an official member of the church. And I remember when Bentley turned 8, having this realization that I didn't want him to be baptized. And I remember being really weirded out by that. And I was like, I should be really excited and like want this, but I didn't. And so that kind of started me on my journey. When I realized I didn't want Bentley to be baptized, I was like, well, why? And I started to really think about religion, because for the 4 months before, I hadn't really thought about it, hadn't been a big issue in my mind. And I started to realize I had to make a choice, if I was going to be a member of the church or if I wasn't. And I realized that I couldn't sit on the fence for the rest of my life and kind of just, be both. And it was weird. First off, it was weird to even realize there was a choice. Because when you grow up in the church hearing this is what you do and this is why you do it and this is where you're going and this is what's going to happen if you don't do it, which is basically you lose your family forever. You're not going to be with your kids. You're not going to be with your parents. You just lose them. And so when you have that I don't want to say threat, but that thought that you could lose everything that's most important to you, of course you're going to do whatever it takes. You're going to be faithful. You're going to do what you have to do. But I didn't believe a lot of the things that were taught. I had a really hard time with a lot of the things, and I just never felt like I fit in. I swore, I was a lot laid back, where in the church it's very structured, and I realized I wasn't happy. And so I started to do some research to figure out where I stood, and the more research I did, for months and months and months and months and months, I did research. Like, this isn't a choice that came overnight. I didn't wake up one day and be like, well, I'm done. Like, it was months of tears, of heartache, of studying, of praying, of deciding what to do, of what felt right for me, what felt right for our family. And after I'd done all this research, I came home, actually Thanksgiving morning, because I work graveyard, so I got into bed at like 6 a.m. And I was just crying. And my husband, Greg, was like, why are you, what's going on? What's wrong? And I had to say out loud what I've been feeling. And it was the scariest thing I've probably ever said out loud to Greg. And I said, I don't believe Joseph Smith is a prophet. And I mean, Joseph Smith was the founder of the church. He wrote the Book of Mormon. I mean, if you don't believe Joseph Smith was a prophet, the whole thing falls apart. And so I realized I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to believing. And it was terrifying. And for weeks, my world was just shattered. I felt lost. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And I didn't feel like I had anyone I could really talk to about it. And it was terrible. And I cried so much. Like, it was so hard. And I can't say that enough, how hard it was. Like, not only are you losing a religion, like, it's your entire life. It's when you're LDS, I mean, it's your life. It's your purpose. It's your meaning behind everything you do. It's your community. It's all your friends. It's everyone you know almost as LDS. And it was really hard to all of a sudden feel like I was the outsider. But I saw this video, and this guy mentioned that after he left the church, it was really hard, but it got better. And that really stuck with me, and it made me realize he had such optimism and such hope and such excitement about it, and it made me realize I could have that too. Instead of, focusing maybe on what I was losing, I could look forward to this future. This future now that I could choose for myself different aspects. I could choose if I want to wear a tank top. I could choose if I want to, drink coffee. I could choose, what I want to instill in my children, what we believe. I could support gay marriage, which is something I'm so passionate about. And I could do all these things that I felt like I couldn't in the church. And it was so freeing. And I felt like I could 100% be my authentic self for the first time in my life. I didn't feel like I had to be something I wasn't because it was expected of me. And so that's kind of where I am now. It's been almost a month, and I've reached this point where I'm just so happy and so excited about what the future holds. But I also want to kind of relish this feeling because we haven't told our friends and family yet. I mean, we've told a couple people here and there, but nothing crazy. Like, our parents don't know, and yeah, I've only told 2 of my sisters. I haven't even told my best friend yet. So, because everyone we know is LDS, and I'm going to talk in the next video about telling people about why it's hard, about why they might have a bad reaction. But if you want to follow this journey of us changing our faith and changing our entire life and, these new experiences we're going to have, go ahead and hit subscribe. If you are in this same predicament, if you're thinking of leaving and you want to know what the after looks like, or you're in the middle of the after, go ahead and follow along. Come with me on this journey. I know it's not easy, and I know it's heartbreaking at times, but I'm really positive and believing that it's going to be beautiful on the other side, and it's going to be what's right for me and for my family and for my husband. And I think it's going to be a really beautiful future for us. So anyways, guys, next video talking about telling people, which means I actually have to start telling people, which is terrifying because I'm so happy and I know people aren't going to be happy for me. It's going to be really hard, but I love you guys. Thank you for your support in advance, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.